All right, so my presentation is why should people play team sports, or why should you let your kid play team sports in school? As Teddy Roosevelt said, I believe in rough, manly sports, but I do not believe in them if they degenerate into the sole end of any over-athleticism. What he's saying here is team sports are beneficial unless they go to only see that child be affected with over-athleticism. I completely agree with this, that over-athleticism is not a good thing, but it's not the only result that athletics bring to a child. The benefits far outweigh that risk of over-athleticism for any child. So what's the problem? Well, athletics cost more money than they provide to a school, so school boards are considering just outsourcing it to club sports. The cost, however, is much worth the benefits that the athletes gain from playing these sports. And the benefits are generally lifelong, while the costs are only really time sensitive to when they're playing those sports. So boards and parents need to recognize these benefits when considering allowing their kids to play these sports or not. So what exactly are the limitations to the team sports? Well, there's only two big ones. It's burnout and injury. And these are limitations that really can't be taken away from athletics. You know, they go hand in hand with them. But what we can do is dial them back a little bit, make them a little bit less pronounced in the sports world, and really emphasize those benefits that the sports bring to the child. So the benefits of team sports, you get psychological benefits, you gain healthy habits, and you learn an understanding of teamwork. All of these will generally last a very long time, if not the entire child's lifetime, which is way longer than those costs will last for the school or the child. So what exactly is the risk of burnout? Well, it's when a child is tired of playing due to bad coaching, injury, or high expectations. Now, these can't really be taken back. The bad coaching can be fixed by getting a better coach, but for some schools that's just not an option. So usually athletes just have to learn how to deal with that. Injury and high expectations are the exact same way. Athletes just have to learn to deal with that and grow as they go. Now, sometimes athletes use these high expectations to really rise to the occasion when being faced with that, and they become better athletes and better people, which kind of turns that into a benefit, if you will. The risk of injury, of course, is always going to be there. You can't take that away from sports, but protective equipment is, making those injuries less prevalent. So say 10 to 15 years ago, if somebody was to get hurt, they'd be done for a season. But nowadays, if somebody gets injured, they're usually out for 2 to 3 games and then they're right back in it. That is mainly due to the development of this protective equipment that they can wear during these sports. Now, to the benefits, there's huge psychological benefits to this, and those are reducing stress and improving mood. Now, these kind of go hand in hand, because if you have less stress, you're obviously going to be happier. That reduced stress comes from athletes only focusing on playing on the court or playing on the field. That their stress, everything in the back of their mind just goes away. They're only focused on what they're doing. That improves their mood. Now, reduced stress isn't the only thing that improves their mood. That improvement could also come from, say, you're on a really good team, you're going to go win a championship or something. You're obviously going to be happier than, say, you weren't on that team at all, or your team wasn't as good. And the next benefit is healthy habits. Generally, athletes continue to work out after they stop playing these team sports, and it enhances your immune system. It's a well-known fact that athletics help your body remain healthy, and in turn, that helps your immune system, which is really effective and important thing to have in this COVID-19 world, because it could make the difference on your recovery time. how healthy your immune system is, which could be benefited by playing these team sports. Understanding of teamwork is another huge benefit that we see from athletics. It's a helpful attribute in job markets. When your employer sees that you work well with others, that you're a good team worker, they will be more likely to give you a promotion than, say, somebody who doesn't have that team working ability. And again, you become a team player, your coworkers are gonna like you more, which leads to your boss liking you more, which leads to you getting a promotion in the future. So, in conclusion, you can see that the benefits and the limitations, there's the same amount of both of them. But
Okay, all things,
these
we're at
limitations,
25 miles for
they're
Coach
generally
Bennett. He
pretty
only has
short-term.
5 more to
They
go.
only
Woohoo!
last-
Go
they
Coach!
only last during that time that the athlete is playing that sport, while the benefits usually last real long term or last a lifetime for that athlete. So what's the answer to this? Well, despite the few limitations, athletics have proven that they're worth it for schools and parents to allow their kids to play in these sports. So children should compete in team sports for benefits that last them a lifetime. That is it.
Okay. All right. What information did you need that you weren't able to find or locate?
I really could have used more information on injuries and kind of gone more in depth on what exactly that protective equipment is doing to help protect that athlete wearing them.
Okay. What are the implications of your findings to your community?
Well, my community, I would say, for my specific presentation would be the school, and that would really affect the amount of people who show up to these sports, which would in turn affect how good these sports were, which would make the board more likely to support these sports